Why should we care about this multi-screen generation, and what does this really mean for advertisers and consumers? It turns out that 90% of all daily media-related activities are done on screens. And as you can see, those are the 4 most popular screens and the average time spent per day per device. These numbers surprised me, and I'm sure like when you see the tablet up there and the high number that it has, you might be surprised as well. And the reality is that a lot of people are using these devices at the same time as other devices. So the time there is just spent as a cumulative number. But what do I mean by at the same time? So this could mean sequentially. So I'm on my phone and then I move to a computer to finish a transaction. Or it could be simultaneously. So I'm watching a TV show at the same time as I'm using my mobile device. But these patterns are really critical for brands to understand so they know where to put their message on the right screen for the right consumer. So what I took a look at is trying to segment the market based on the type of devices that they might be using. So taking a look at a digi-craze type consumer, and thinking about it in terms of they have all of these different devices, but they're using these devices for very specific reasons throughout the day. So understanding those patterns will really help brands put their message on the right device. Thinking about phonistas, those consumers who really rely on their mobile device as a way to stay connected, but also as where they're searching and where they're getting their media. Laptop mafia is people who work very hard, so end up spending a lot of time on their laptop. So this is primarily the best way to reach them. And then I'm going to call them the digi-dino. And these are people who really still rely heavily on TV to get their media source. And so again, understanding these patterns for brands and advertisers is extremely crucial living in this multi-screen world. So then digging in a little deeper, I'm not going to go into all of this, but I just wanted to highlight, again, it's understanding the patterns of these consumers, but also what are the roles of these different devices? So when we think about our phone, what do we think about? It's really our mode of staying connected. Our computer is really that device that we use for education and for work. When we think about the tablet, it's really meant for leisure activities and entertainment. And when we think about TV, it's actually the most popular device for multi-screening. Turns out that 77% of people today that are watching TV are actually using another device at the same time. That's pretty astronomical. So what I say is that to be relevant in this multi-screen world, brands have to be connected, consistent, and concise. And I'm going to go through now 3 case studies that really showcase brands that have been able to do so, really capitalizing on these 3 C's, as I'm going to call them. So the first one is to be connected. And the example here is Domino's and X Factor. So the insight here is really that as viewers were watching the X Factor, they were also on their mobile device. So what Domino's said is, okay, why don't we capitalize on that, and why don't we create a connected environment for these consumers? So as the viewers were watching the show on this app, they were actually able to act as the 5th judge on the show, so interact with the content. But it also tied back to the brand in ways that people were able to order pizza directly from this app. It remained consistent in that the branding throughout on the TV showcased both the X Factor and Domino's as well as in the app. The next example is from PepsiCo. So this is about being consistent. Pepsi owns the rights to the halftime show for the Super Bowl. So when they come up with their big idea and big pitch, this one, for example, was get hyped for halftime. They leaked this via PR and social media, and then through every vehicle that they had, whether it be TV, viral videos, social, blogger community, all of the messaging was consistent. So whether I'm using my phone, my tablet, I'm watching something on TV, all of the message has the same look and feel and really allows consumers to understand what the brand's message and meaning is. And finally, to be concise. And this really plays heavily in the role that mobile is playing in our world today. So what do we mean by be concise? It's really that people are inundated with content today. So being concise is being relevant. And I wanted to bring actually a global example here. This is Vivo. Is anyone familiar with Vivo? Okay, they are like the #1 telecommunications company in Brazil. And their idea was they are the largest network, and they wanted to really showcase the power of that network. So what they did is they had a very simple, concise message, which was Pegabem. And Pegabem means essentially just wonderful or good message. So they really encouraged consumers to post anything that meant wonderful or good, whether that be family time or time spent doing rock climbing or any sort of activity that meant something to you, but connected to building both a network of this content, but then showcasing how that really showcased the power of the network of Vivo as a telecommunications company. Very simple message, but really created this cohesive environment. This campaign went viral via social, but then connected to a campaign later that they brought out in a TV campaign. So living in this multi-screen generation, I believe that it's not just about creating content, but it's about creating the right piece of content for your right consumer at the right time and on the right device. Poses a lot of challenges for brands, but a lot of opportunity when you think about the ways that you can reach your consumer throughout the day.